Locked On Podcast Network presents Locked On Sports Today.
Travis Hunter is joining Trevor Lawrence. The Jaguars pulled off the biggest surprise of the NFL draft. Also, Cam Ward is officially a Tennessee Titan. And the Green Bay Packers finally did it for the first time in more than 20 years. A receiver in the first round. We're live from the NFL draft in Green Bay. Let's go.
I'm Peter Bukowski, starting your day with the can't miss stories and biggest debates in sports. You're Locked On Sports Today.
Searching all major sports. Found.
Let's start with the biggest story.
Travis Hunter was widely mocked as the number 2 pick in this draft. But it was the Jacksonville Jaguars who ended up taking him.
The Jaguars make this trade today with Cleveland. There's started to be a whole lot of noise being made a little bit earlier. There started to be a whole lot of noise, man, about Travis Hunter. So it happened, and I can't believe it. The Jacksonville Jaguars under James Gladstone, Tony Baselli, and Liam Cohen have made probably the biggest, boldest move in the history of this franchise, and maybe one of the 7 or 8 boldest moves in the draft that didn't involve a quarterback in the history of the National Football League. And I'm happy. I really am. If you'd have told me they gave, in fact, somebody earlier today put up a scenario where the Jacksonville Jaguars were giving up all of that stuff, and I said, you got to be out of your mind. I heard Daniel Jeremiah earlier say they're going to give up a second this year or one next year and then some change. And I was like, they ain't doing that. It's a new day in the National Football League. That is exactly what the Jacksonville Jaguars have done. Travis Hunter, the best player in this draft, one of the most dynamic players we've ever seen in college football, is now a Jacksonville Jaguar. And they said they were going to be bold. They said they were going to get people that were intangibly rich, and he is rich intangibly. He is rich in every single way, on the field, off the field. And remember that thing I told you? Remember I started saying they love those football playing Jessies? How about a dude that wants to play both ways and doesn't want to come off the field? And all he does is want to be at the facility. And all he does is want to score touchdowns on people and embarrass people on the football field. All the while being sort of a conservative dude who just likes to play video games and dance and make videos and hang out with his better half, man. Y'all can't ask for more. You ain't gonna see Travis Hunter all in those clubs and all of that stuff. But it's almost like this thing I said with Floyd Mayweather back in the day. He tricks you and fools you a little bit, and then you get in the ring, and what it is he is all business. He is all fundamentals. He is all preparation. He is all of that stuff in a bag of chips. So with Travis, he has all of these bells and whistles on the field, but then off the field, he's nothing like that. He's boring. He's like Mr. Rogers. Man, Jacksonville, you guys have won big tonight here in Jacksonville. We got, you talk about eyes now being on the city. It started with Trevor Lawrence a couple of years ago. Now Brian Thomas Jr. is making noise across the National Football League. Everybody knows who he is. He's recognizable. And now you get Travis Hunter to play defense and offense. Now, listen, even those that thought that there wasn't enough done in the defensive backfield, y'all gonna be quiet tomorrow, because guess what? This actually, when you look at Eric Murray and you look at Lewis, Jordan Lewis, this actually makes you understand pairing them with Jarian and Campbell, and now you adding Travis Hunter. Think about your nickel package. It is going to be ridiculous with athleticism. And they might not be done by them trading them picks. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody very familiar ends up back here roaming around in that secondary at safety, because they gave up a lot of stuff now. Unless they really do believe in guys in the 4th round, you know, it's going to be quiet here in Jacksonville. I know they got that 1 3rd round pick left, but it's going to be quiet for a second. So this is the impact of getting a player like this. He loves the game and he's talented. He's got mental toughness. He's got physical toughness. He's got all of that stuff. Everything you want, man. He's one of the biggest competitors I have ever seen in my life. And this is how the tide causes everything to rise, man, with this talent. I did not think Cleveland was going to do it. I honestly did not. I thought they would really, and I believe they still are infatuated with Jacksonville. I just think they got blown away by the extra first round pick. Now, that we're going to talk about that. I want to park at that price here in just a second, because the price is very, very important.
You can stay up to date all year on the Jacksonville Jaguars by subscribing to Locked On Sports Today and Locked On Jaguars on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. You're Locked On Sports Today. Coming up, the worst kept secret in the NFL finally made public to begin day one of the draft. Before we get to that, the Knicks got one back from the Pistons. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe, or sign into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Halo as easily as you stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. No, seriously, pair a controller to the Fire TV 4K stick and play your favorite Xbox games anywhere. If you're a hardened gamer and want to have your PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox too, then this is for you. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On. All one word, Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, Fire TV Cube 3rd generation. The Knicks took back home court advantage by taking the first game in Detroit from the Pistons.
The New York Knicks survive a war against the Detroit Pistons. Hostile crowd, physical team, a lot of craziness late in the game, including a little bit of home cooking on the clock, but the Knicks are able to pull out a 118-116 victory over the Detroit Pistons. I'm Gavin Shaw of the Locked On Knicks podcast. This was a big bounce-back game for Jalen Brunson. Even if the final numbers don't show it, I thought his process was far better than it was in game 2. Came out looking to pass the basketball, looking to get everyone else going, and that paid real dividends for Karl Anthony Towns, who had made just 1 3, taken just 5 through 2 games of the series. In the first quarter of this one, makes 3 of them, takes 4, finishes this game 31 points, 8 rebounds. I thought exceptional defense down the stretch of this one. Blocking Tobias Harris, blocking Cade Cunningham. Knicks make their free throws down the stretch. Mikal Bridges, I thought throughout, excellent on the defensive end, 5 stocks, big shot making. OG Anunoby carried them as well in the first half with, I think, right around 18, 19 points in that first half. The Knicks' top 4 guys came up big, and it was just enough to hold on against the Pistons. They'll be looking for a big Game 4 win on Sunday. Until then, tune in for more on Locked On Knicks.
The Grizzlies look to get on the board against the Thunder.
One of the most disappointing second halves in Memphis Grizzlies history was preceded by one of the most exciting first halves in Memphis Grizzlies history. The Ja Morant injury late in the second quarter changes everything, and the Memphis Grizzlies lose after being up by as many as 29 points against the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 3. I'm Joe Mullinax of Locked On Grizzlies, and there's going to be a lot of post-mortem on this, talking about Jaren Jackson Jr. struggling to score, Desmond Bane turnovers, players not stepping up in the wake of Ja Morant's hip injury. But make no mistake, sure, defense could have been cleaner on Chet Holmgren, and sure, the turnovers becoming an issue were a major reason the Grizzlies fell apart. But why did turnovers become a thing? Because Ja Morant wasn't on the floor, because Desmond Bane and Scottie Pippen Jr. were asked to do more than what they were asked to do in the first half. How do you come back for a Game 4?
And the Clippers had a shot at getting the series advantage over the Nuggets in L.A.
That's going to do it from Game 3. Dorian Vaziri of Locked On Clippers. My head is throbbing. I feel like I'm going to throw up, and I haven't felt that way since Game 6 of that second-round series against the Jazz 4 years ago. I thought our intensity was amazing. We did a good job getting the ball out of Jokic's hands, but also making life tough for him. Ben Simmons honestly did a pretty good job in that first half. And then Harden, Kawhi, Norman Powell, and Zoo, the big 4 looked like the big 4. Norman Powell to have over 20 plus, and the crowd loves it! Yeah! 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 Kawhi with a big performance. Harden with 20 plus. Whoa! Go Clippers! It's electric baby, go Clippers! Yeah!
Pretty much everyone knew that Cam Ward was destined to become the next Tennessee Titans franchise quarterback. On Thursday night, it became official. But how soon will things actually change in Nashville?
Something that I have continued to say is the pick of Cam Ward means more than just getting a franchise quarterback. The pick of Cam Ward means more than any individual draft pick, no matter where the player goes. This has a chance to fundamentally reshape everything we know and think about the Tennessee Titans. If this pick hits, if Cam Ward is the player that we all hope that he is, if Cam Ward can lead the Tennessee Titans to the promised land, it will again fundamentally shift everything we know and think about the Tennessee Titans. This has the ability to build the Tennessee Titans into a consistent contender. You want to be a team like the Baltimore Ravens. You want to be a team like the Los Angeles Rams. You want to be a team like the Philadelphia Eagles, like the Kansas City Chiefs. I know that they've been a little mid lately, but the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise, consistently good, consistently having superstar players, consistently finding value in the draft, consistently building winning programs and sustainability. If you want the Tennessee Titans to get out of where they're at as a team right now and to turn into one of those teams, this move right here has the ability to be the first step in that journey. Now, you could maybe trace it back even further, go, Mike Vrabel getting fired and Rand Carthon getting fired and Mike Borgonzi getting hired and Chad Brinker taking full control as Darth Brinker. There are obviously a lot of steps to get here, but this could be the seminal moment of, okay, we put everything in place and now we fundamentally got our guy. What it reminds me of, and to draw the parallels, it's like the Bengals. We saw Zach Taylor come in his first year. The Bengals were awful. They ended up with Joe Burrow, number one in the draft. And then within a few years, they went to the Super Bowl. The Tennessee Titans could do something exactly like that. This could be the moment that the primary building block, the most important building block for any franchise, the quarterback, is put in place. Now, that's lofty expectations for Cam Ward. And the reality is he's just not playing to be the best version of Cam Ward. Cam Ward is playing really to elevate this franchise. That's what Cam Ward's task is, not just be a good quarterback. He has to elevate this franchise in ways that we thought Marcus Mariota might be able to do, that we thought Jake Locker might be able to do, that I truly and still believe to this day Vince Young had the ability to do. It's been so long since we truly had that quarterback that was ours. Ryan Tannehill showed up, and he was a great stepdad. Tannehill was a great stepdad. Took care of us, took us in. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We gave you a family as well. But Ryan Tannehill was never our own, all right? And because of that, the fan base never truly attached to Tannehill, no matter how well he played. And some people were still angry that Marcus was gone because he was our guy. You know what I mean? And Cam Ward can now not just be someone who showed up, another bridge quarterback, a veteran, but our guy, that we can finally have one, that we can finally build around. Finally, a good quarterback, a great quarterback in the NFL. Cam Ward can be that. And listen, a lot of folks like to say, hey, I don't care what the outside world says. Hey, I don't care how much the media talks about the Titans. Hey, I don't care what people think, poverty franchise. All that matters is on the field. And look, I'm sorry, at the end of the day, I do not buy that. I watch football and I love football to be entertained, to be happy, to have joy, to enjoy my life. It's great. So it does suck that no one ever wants to talk about the Titans. And Cam Ward's not even getting any love because he's going to the Tennessee Titans. And every conversation online with fans of other teams, the Titans are a poverty team. They've never won a Super Bowl. They're, an XFL franchise. All of that stuff that is said and thought about the Titans, not only in the national media, but in the football cognoscenti as a whole. All of that can change with Cam Ward.
Stay up to date all year on the Tennessee Titans by subscribing to Locked On Sports Today and Locked On Titans on your favorite podcast app and on YouTube. Coming up, the Green Bay Packers finally. Javon Walker, you are off the hook. No longer the answer to the trivia question, when was the last time the Packers drafted a receiver, and who was that receiver that went in the first round? Well, it was 2002. When the Packers drafted Javon Walker. On Thursday night in Green Bay, outgoing president Mark Murphy got to announce the pick got to say for the first time in over 20 years, the Packers are taking a receiver. The crowd went nuts, and I reacted live after. They did it. Our long national nightmare is over. The Packers have drafted a receiver, and the narrative that they would never draft a receiver has died with it. Matthew Golden was not the receiver I thought they were going to take. For those of you that were with me last week, I predicted, and I guess at the top of this week, what day is it? Where am I? I predicted Emeka Egbuka. Now, he went before the Green Bay Packers had a chance to pick, and I had changed the way that I viewed this on Wednesday. I came up to Green Bay Wednesday for some interviews, and I had predicted Emeka Egbuka, right? And I started to think, they really prioritize elite traits in the first round. And Emeka Egbuka does not have any elite trait. He's just really good at everything, which is why his athletic profile is so good overall, because it's rare to find guys that are over 6 feet tall, over 200 pounds, can run 4.4s and have, a good change of direction. That's rare. That makes him an elite athlete technically. It's not 4.29. It's not 4.29. 4.29 is a different kind of beast. It's a different kind of animal. It's why when I changed my prediction, when people ask me, and I look, shout out to everyone who came up today, stopped me on the street, in the theater, everywhere, to come over and say hi, tell me that they appreciate the show. I appreciate you so much for doing that. And shout out to everybody who did that. It was an incredible experience, I have to say. But I started telling people, I think they're going to take Luther Burden. I said Luther Burden or Shamar Stewart, because I felt like they needed, if you draft Jaden Higgins, and that was in the back of my mind the whole time I'm having this conversation about Jaden Higgins, I think he can win vertically, but the 4.47 isn't quite there on tape. 4.29 is different. 4.29 is a different animal entirely. Now, I don't think I would have done this in the first round. So this is, the kind of thing where you go, okay, you're trying to get the receiver, the playmaker, the dynamic downfield player. I try and divorce my evaluations. By consensus, Matthew Golden was the 24th ranked player by most people's boards, or by consensus. Dane Brugler had him 15th. Now, this was not a good receiver class, but Matthew Golden was, by consensus, one of the best receivers in this class. Was I surprised? 5'11", 190, and never had elite production in college? Those are things that the Packers usually want. Yeah, I was surprised. But in terms of what the skill set is, it is easy to understand what the Packers see here with Matthew Golden. And finally, more than 125,000 people turned out to the live draft event in Green Bay on Thursday night. They were greeted by former Packers linebacker Clay Matthews relaying what he said was a message from the president. He paused. I'm sure there was a lot of panic on a lot of corporate boardrooms and at ESPN and NFL Network. And then he said, at a very loud volume, the Bears still suck. Something I think outside of Chicago, we can all agree on. I love it when a country, we can come together and agree on something. If you're catching this episode after hearing your favorite Locked On show, make sure to subscribe to Locked On Sports Today or wherever you get your podcast so you never miss an episode. Also, if you're a new subscriber to Locked On Sports Today, we're here for you with the biggest stories in sports every day. Coming up, who will be declared the winner and the loser of this NFL draft? So at least until tomorrow, stay locked on sports today.
Locked On Podcast Network presents Locked On Sports Today.
For more episodes of Locked On Sports Today, go to our video on demand. Click on sports at the top of your screen. There, you'll find past episodes of Locked On Sports Today, plus other Locked On shows on demand.